Hey everybody, ronarray here, and I've been playing my Crit Wave Lightning Morgue for some time. The build is absolutely awesome. It has pretty nice single target potential and a way to just clear the whole screen with one tap. Because of that, I've been also playing a lot of Breach. So in this video, I wanted to showcase updated Rarity version if you want to focus on Rarity for your map farming, Breach farming and other types of farming. I also went to Chaos Inoculation and Energy Shield approach, because in my opinion right now, stacking Rarity is the best if you're going Energy Shield. I'm going to showcase all the changes I made and how the build working right now exactly to introduce at least 200% Rarity into it. In this video, I'm also going to showcase all my items which are giving me Rarity and all my gem setups, also elaborating on different setups that you can use and things that you can replace. Let's go. So first off, let's start with how we can check our Rarity. To check the Rarity, you need to open your skill menu, click on your skill, go down here, and here you will be able to find Rarity modifier on kill monsters. I genuinely recommend to focus on at least 100% Rarity. But if you will be able to get to 200% or even higher, it will be better. Right now Rarity is pretty strong, because Rarity is going to increase amount of loot that you are receiving. In general, it just rising the amount of exalted, divines and all basic currency that dropping from the monsters. It's especially important if you are farming mechanics such as Breach, because it provides a lot of additional rares and rares are dropping more loot with Rarity. So right now I want to explain what I changed in the build to introduce Rarity and how it works right now. First off, I think that moving to Energy Shield and Chaos Inoculation is a very good idea for that approach. To move to Chaos Inoculation, we are taking Chaos Inoculation passive right here and a maximum life becomes 1, but we are completely immune to chaos damage. After that, we just need to stack as much shield as possible, and currently my character sits at around 5000 energy shield. So moving forward, I want to showcase how we are getting Rarity and how it's working. The most important part right now that we can get Rarity from together with Energy Shield is the helmet. Helmet can provide up to 62% of Rarity, and it can also provide a lot of Energy Shield. We're not getting a lot of resistances from it, but it's working pretty nice. After that, we can also get Rarity on our amulet. Getting at least 45-50% here is recommended, and if you can get one with a lot of mana or energy shield or critical hit bonuses, it could be even better. I also recommend to now run Storm Charged as your Annoyed, because Storm Charged is a very good passive, and right now it's significantly cheaper than it's been before. Another nice place to run Rarity is your boots. Here you can get up to 29-30% Rarity approximately, and you can also run movement speed, energy shield and resistances. If you can't afford high energy shield version, I recommend to just get resistances. And you can also get additional Rarity on other items if you will use a special core for Rarity, but that one is very expensive, it costs about 40 lines right now, and I don't really recommend to focus on that. One of the most important questions is where we are getting Energy Shield, and to get Energy Shield, I'm using body armor with a very high Energy Shield overall. Reaching at least 800 Energy Shield right here is very important for the final number, but if you can reach even more, it will be even better. To fix resistances, we are using belt, so on the belt we just focus on resistances themselves and nothing on top of it. And one of the rings. If you will need to drop Rarity from some particular item, I recommend to drop it from the ring and fix your resistances. Right now I'm playing around 69 fire, 69 lightning and 75 cold, so that way 5%, 6% lower than it should be at maximum. But because of the pretty high energy shield pool, it's feeling pretty alright. I'm still going to fix it a little later, but probably changing one of the soul cores or runes in the items to improve it, or maybe changing the ring. since right now I'm just choosing what we can do. I'm still running the same weapon, so nothing changed in that department, and that weapon is working pretty nice. Hand of Wisdom in action is very good as well, because that way we can stack more intelligence for lightning damage and dexterity for attack speed. And PoE ring stays in the build, because right now it can help a lot with additional damage and clear. So that's pretty much it for the items. You can also run charms, which will help you with rarity as well, but right now I think immunity to freeze is significantly more important, and I'm going to explain it a little later when I'm going to showcase changes in the tree. With such body armor, I also received 254 spirit, which is a huge number to be honest. Now let's talk about the tree and what Chaos Inoculation is giving us. Since we don't really need to roll Chaos Resistance anywhere anymore, we can just focus on getting Rarity everywhere where we can. And in the tree itself there is not so many changes. It's really recommended to take Eternal Use, because that way our energy shield is not going to be recharged, but we will be able to recover our energy shield with the Life Flask. I think it's worth it because it's going to save your life pretty often when you could just click Flask and regenerate. However, please keep in mind that you will need to constantly click flasks to regenerate your energy shield even if you are standing in the hideout. So don't forget about that and don't go into the maps if your energy shield is not full. Moving forward, Chaos Inoculation by itself provides immunity to chaos damage, which is very nice. And since we are taking it, we are going up here. Going for additional intelligence and Patient Barrier for additional maximum energy shield is definitely worth it. Slower start of energy shield recharge is not damaging us at all, because right now, since we are using Eternal Use, we are not receiving energy shield recharge at all. And there's not a lot of other changes, the rest of the tree stays the same. I'm still going down there for Catalysis, taking Maiming Strike, additional crit here, Coming Calamity, and some additional points to the right. Up here I'm also moving to the left and taking one Jewel Socket, because right now it seems like it's worth it. The very important question is how we are going to avoid getting stunned and frozen when we are playing Chaos Inoculation, because when your life is 1, you're going to have a very low Chaos threshold and Freeze threshold as well. So for Freeze threshold, currently I'm just using the charm with immunity to freeze and used when become frozen. In my opinion, it's worth it in almost all the cases. However, if it's not enough for you, I recommend to take Icebreaker, because it will give you maximum energy shield as additional freeze threshold. It will completely solve all your issues with freezing, but it will cost 4 points right now. If freezing is a big issue for you, I recommend to drop some additional damage nodes and take Icebreaker, because it's going to give you additional quality of life. However, right now I'm not taking it and just using the charm instead. Another important question is how we are avoiding getting stunned. Usually you can go to self-mortification or asceticism to get stun threshold based on 30% of your energy shield instead of life, which is pretty nice in my opinion, or self-mortification when 20% of maximum energy shield as additional stun threshold. But if you have enough currency, I don't recommend to go for it. I recommend to go for jewels instead. At jewels you can gain 10% of maximum energy shield as additional stun threshold. And you can also receive additional critical hit chance and maximum energy shield. Right now such jewels could be very expensive, so if you can't afford it, I recommend to just drop damage and stats and go for increased maximum energy shield and 10% of maximum energy shield as additional stun threshold. Repicking the jewels, if you will add at least 3 of them, will provide 30% of maximum energy shield as additional stun threshold. The same level that self-mortification is currently providing together with 2 small passives. And it will probably be enough, so you will not get stunned that often. If you feel like you want to add more energy shield in general, you can also pass to the left and take Insightfulness or Melding, but for now I don't really think it's worth it, because our main goal here is Rarity and Rarity itself. For very big improvement, you can also take small passives here, But unfortunately Spectral Ward is not really helping us anymore because we don't have any kind of evasion rating on equipped body armor. With all those changes you will be able to have a pretty nice pull of the shield, and if you will still have issues with stun threshold, you can add Mystic Stance right here, so just 2 points here are fixing a lot of issues. The rest of the build is never changing, and we are still playing crit wave with the same approach. I'm also going to showcase gems for people who's interested in them. So I'm using Combat Frenzy, but currently unspec'd Resonance. If I'm going to bosses, I'm specking Resonance back, I'm just spending 2 points here, taking them out of those 2 crit points, and just taking Intelligence and Resonance here. In that case, it's really helpful for bossing. If you don't boss a lot and you're just focusing on the maps right now, you can unspec Resonance completely, and you can just bring back quarters of critical chance. In that case, you can drop Frenzy and take any other aura. We have a lot of Spirit and we have less slots than Spirit, so Combat Frenzy is not playing such big a role anymore. We are still using Hero Device together with Cold Infusion, Cold Mastery and Magnified Effect for huge AoE nukes. Charge Stuff is here together with Combat Frenzy just for bossing, but please keep in mind that Resonance is absolutely necessary to get proper power charges. That way, if you are going to boss, it's recommended. Grim Fist by itself is working pretty nice too, so I replaced Wind Dancer with Grim Fist right now. Grim Fist is going to help us significantly with having our energy shield always up. I'm still using Blink together with Clarity because it's nice, and I'm using Tempest Flurry right here with Lightning Infusion, Electrocute, Practice Combo and Rage. The only change that I made that I moved Martial Tempo to Stormwave if you are farming maps. If you're not farming maps, you can replace Martial Tempo with Lightning Infusion, drop Lightning Infusion completely and use half for Stormwave. So that's probably will be universal approach right now. Stormwave is Innervate, half, Primal Armament, Upheaval and Ambush, and Tempest Flurry with Martial Tempo, Electrocute, Practice Combo and Rage. However, if you don't really boss a lot, moving Martial Tempo to Stormwave can improve your quality of life, and I still recommend to do that at least in some cases. At the Tempest Bell we are taking Close Combat over Abundance concentrated on Heavy Swing, even if Heavy Swing is not really providing a lot of bonuses here. And I'm still using Cast on Shock with Comet, Impetus, Energy Retention and Inspiration to help with bosses occasionally. However, if you still have Electrocute at Tempest Flurry and not really going to farm pinnacle bosses, I think such approach should work just fine, because we are focusing mostly on the Rarity right here. If you want just all-around build, I recommend to check out my previous build guide, because I think it's stronger all-rounder. And here we're just focusing on Rarity instead. We can add additional auras if you want, so you can just drop Combat Frenzy if you're not playing Resonance. Or, for example, you could replace Cast on Shock if you want. However, there is not a lot of possible options to replace it with, and I currently don't bother and play with such setup. So, since the most important part here is Rarity itself, please make sure that if you're going that way, you're stacking Rarity at least at Helmet and Boots. That's literally the minimum amount of what you need. I also recommend to get at least some on the amulet, and Ring is probably the last place to pick it, so if you feel like you just need Ring for resistances, for example I can run such Ring to cap all my resistances, I think it's recommended too. But if you prioritize Rarity, getting back Ring should work just fine. So what are you going to receive if you are going to follow that setup with all the changes? Your damage will stay close or the same, it's probably going to fall off a little, but that's totally alright. You're going to receive significantly bigger pools, so at least 4k shield is recommended to play it, and your Rarity is going to be very decent because 200% is a very good bonus to your loots. Please keep in mind that getting jewels with maximum energy shield as additional stun threshold is absolutely mandatory, or you will need to go for self-mortification because there's no other option how you can avoid getting stunned all the time. And overall that version should be pretty nice. I'm probably going to do another update a little later when I'm going to push higher rarity on a few next streams. Thank you very much for watching, and feel free to join me on that journey. See you next time. ronarray out.